Hello, my name is Matthew, and I read Othello by William Shakespeare. I read it for ShakeTube 2020. I read this great edition, and I loved it. Sometimes I really struggle with reading Shakespeare. I have a hard time getting into the language, and then other times I'm just in the right mood or mindset, mind frame, and it can feel like rocket fuel. That the language, the power of the language, just elevates the whole entire story. And I have found that the more I return to these plays, the more powerful and intense they feel. And the great thing about Othello, it's a story of lies and deceit and treachery and villainy, jealousy, and it's all because of Iago, this horrible, villainous, evil person. He's upset that he didn't get a promotion. Othello didn't give him a certain rank. And he just stirs up trouble throughout the whole entire play. Every interaction, he's lying and manipulating everybody to do horrible, irrational, unjustifiable things. And what makes Iago so evil is he's ingratiating and he smiles at you and he's trustworthy. Throughout almost the entire play, he's known as Honest Iago. He's everybody's right hand man, their assistant or ancient. The beginning of the play, Iago and Rodrigo are like walking around in the middle of the night on the street, and they have this conversation, and they decide that they're going to go to this guy's house. It's the middle of the night, bang on his door, wake this guy up, and tell him that his daughter isn't in the house. She's out sleeping with another guy, Othello. And of course, this man who finds out that his daughter isn't home when he thinks that she's going to be, and is in fact out with another guy, of course he's going to get upset. And it's the beginning of the string of events, and such a great insight into how manipulative and deceitful Iago is going to be. Waking this guy up in the middle of the night and go, hey, just wanted to let you know your daughter's not home. Well, Iago decides that the way that he's going to stir the pot is to get Othello jealous. He's recently married. He's married Desdemona. And Iago is going to convince Othello that Desdemona is having an affair with Cassio, his other guy. And all the women in the play are pretty much represented as good, honest, faithful, intelligent, pretty straight-minded, good people. And it's just Iago like planting these seeds and moving around and whispering in people's ears that creates this fantasy world that just doesn't exist. And even at a certain point, Othello, who's been getting all worked up because of Iago, kind of has a moment and says, there's nothing going on here. And he approaches Iago, confronts him, and says, like, you need to show me proof. Like, I'm going through the roof here, and I'm not seeing anything. And Iago is such a silver-tongued scoundrel. He has the kind of tongue that can uncork a wine bottle. He just twists Iago around and uses all of these words, and at the end of it, Othello's even more worked up than he was before, and off he goes. And the hinge of the plot, or the little device that sets off all of the tragedy, is this handkerchief. Desdemona had a handkerchief that fell or somehow was acquired by someone else through fairly innocuous means. And Iago gets a hold of this handkerchief, gives it to Cassio. So there's a moment. Othello knows that he gave this very special handkerchief to Desdemona. he approaches her and says, "Where's the handkerchief?" She can't produce it. She doesn't know what happened. She says, "Well, I must have lost it, or it's somewhere. I can't. I don't have it at the moment." And later on, Cassio shows up and just pulls out this handkerchief, and Othello just completely loses it. And there's so much in this play that feels almost like a comedy of errors, and I feel like it would be a comedy if it just wasn't so incredibly dramatic and evil. The evilness is played up spectacularly. I just love how well Iago moves through all of these people in somewhat believable ways. And it really is heartbreaking to see so much of the action turns out was just unnecessary. None of these people would have done any of these things if it wasn't for this one person stirring the pot. I think one of my favorite little episodes is early on in the play. There's these musicians that are coming to set up in front of a castle and play, and a clown comes out. And I love that almost every Shakespeare play, it feels like there's some clown. I always wish there were more clowns. And this clown comes out and just goes, "What are you doing?" And the musicians go, "We're going to set up and play some music." And the clown goes, just get out of here. Pack up your instruments and leave." And that's it. Just musicians that want to play, and a clown that comes out and goes like, "Scat, get out of here." I love that. Last night I watched the movie adaptation of Othello. It was the BBC production, and it starred Anthony Hopkins as Othello. He has brown paint on his face to make him look like a Moor, and Bob Hoskins, the guy that played, I think he played like Mario in the live adaptation of Mario Brothers, and he was the Gumshoe in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and I think he might have been Smee in Hook. Bob Hoskins plays Iago, and it was an intense, exhausting movie to watch. It's 3.5 hours long, and it's a faithful, serious-minded adaptation of this play. It's a period piece. They're wearing all the outfits with the frilly collars or the paper plate collars. The background, it has a fabulous set design, but it still looks like it's painted pasteboard or cardboard. And we just get these long scenes that feel like scenes from a play, and other segments that feel like an act. And it's just these actors reciting beautiful Shakespeare, these long, extended takes, uncut, multiple people in a room, all moving around doing things, and these actors, all the actors know all their lines. And it's incredible to just watch Shakespeare's language and the power of these performances elevate and intensify the story that you're watching. You can. It's so easy to tell how great it is to watch actors do their thing. I loved watching the play. It's exhausting because they're talking the whole entire time. It feels like an episode from The West Wing or something. They're walking down halls and they're talking, and every time you turn a corner, all the actors are talking. Iago, Bob Hoskins as Iago, just hams it up. He's emoting, and his eyebrows are moving, and his face is moving, and it's just this impressive, like, virtuoso performance. These huge, long takes. I just recently watched Rope, the Alfred Hitchcock movie Rope, starring James Stewart, and the thing about this movie, Rope, is it's supposed to look like one long take. I believe it was 10 takes, but it looks like a continuous stream of a camera moving around this apartment in a apartment room. The very beginning of the movie, these two people strangle a man to death and put him in a chest on the same night that they're having a party. And they did this on purpose. They want to have a group of people there right next to this dead body so they can get away with the perfect murder. And then they get caught. It was a really stupid idea. But watching this movie, Othello, and there's no trick. The idea of one long take is just a part of the performance. These actors are like professionals. They know their lines and they've worked them, and it's the camera trickery isn't a gimmick. These are just people showing off what they do really well. And of course, Anthony Hopkins was fantastic as Othello. He starts kind of regal, stoic, Lincoln-esque, and descends into madness in a way that Anthony Hopkins does really well. So I'll end it there. It was a fantastic reading experience. It was an intense, exhausting movie experience. And yeah, Othello. It's a play about treachery and evil, deceit, lies, jealousy, and none of it needed to happen, except for the doings of honest Iago. Let me know what you think. This was for Shakespeare 2020. Leave a comment if you would like, and thank you for watching.